DRG has not one of these.
Oh no, he has not. Yeah, especially because
semifinals a bunch of times, but I believe this is his first time in the finals actually.
Yeah, like he hasn't been. We I think we spoke about this the last time he made it to the semis, where DRG, he hasn't really been anywhere near as active as some of these other players when it comes to these ESL Open Cups. He hasn't had as much success in them either. But you know, he's been getting better and better over time, especially in recent weeks, recent months. So yeah, this could be his moment.
Absolutely could. And against Cure, again, basically the same thing we've been saying throughout this broadcast. Do not underestimate Cure just because he's not at the peak that he was at the start of the year. He's still one of the best Terran players that you do have to respect. And yeah, I mean, DRG, he's pretty confident in his ZvT, but is he confident versus Cure?
That's the question. We'll see. I'm really curious to see what kind of style DRG is going to go for. Is it going to be just, you know, Ling Bane Muta? Is he going to switch it up? Find out.
I feel like the characters are going to be involved since, you know, they are getting a bit more popular. That mix of lurkers and units, I think. But we can theorize that later on, because for now we are on Eternal Empire Ile. We're in the bottom left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner map. We have the blue Terran player coming out from the land of South Korea. He is once again in a place that's familiar to him, and that is the finals of ESL Open Cup Asia. Can he claim the championship? I'm trying to think of another way to say once again because I feel like it's getting repetitive, but I'm stuck. Representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, DPG, we have Cure.
And spawning in at the top right-hand corner of Eternal Empire LE, we have the South Korean Zerg player. He is representing Afrika Freaks. It is DongRaeGu.
Man, Afrika Freaks really the last bastion of Korean teams, I would say.
Quote unquote. Yeah. I know TY and Stats. Yeah, TY. Yeah, I would say Jinner is like the last bastion of Korean teams. Stats and TY, they were talking about how Afrika, it's less of a team and more like, you know, like you're like contracted by them. Like it's like no, it's more of like a foreign team, I guess. You know, it's like there's no like team house or anything like that. Unlike Jinner, right? It's not like a Kesper team in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, it's
Well, what I meant was more of the fact that I think it's one of the last teams that are actually based in Korea. There's most of them nowadays are like based in China or NA or somewhere like that.
Yeah, definitely. It's really it's unfortunate, but at the same time, I know Afrika, they have a lot of love for StarCraft, right? You know, they support GSL as well as Brood War and all of that good stuff.
And that's why they still have a play. I mean, that's why they still support the GSL. You know, thought that they'd found somebody else to pawn it off to a long time ago if they didn't love StarCraft 2.
Oh yeah, definitely. So huge shout out to Afrika. And yeah, I mean, there are a couple of other like sponsors in Korea, like obviously Into the Clan, like they've taken they've really stepped forward and they've started sponsoring events, which is cool. Titan X, like they never really left, like they don't have a team, but they sponsor teams themselves, as well as events. That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. You know what else is cool? Like Greedy Zerg.
Yeah.
And also Greedy Terran, I guess. This is another 3CC before Starport build coming out from Cure.
You say 3CC before Starport. It's 3CC before a second Rax. There is no Starport.
That's a second Rax.
That's a second Rax.
Actually, he's going 2-1 CC1.
There we go.
Bracket 2 plus bracket 1 plus C cube plus bracket 1 equals.
regardless, there is math involved in this, so we'll see how hard this hits. I love this that we're seeing this 2-on-1. We don't see it too often anymore. We didn't see it at all in Cure versus Solar, so yeah. I'm glad to see Cure has some variety in his play. We haven't seen everything he has to offer in this matchup.
Yeah, I think that is one of Cure's strengths, especially comparing him to some of his Korean peers. He does have a lot of variety when it comes to his builds.
Yeah, definitely. He definitely does. And we'll see if DRG is able to spot this, because quickly looking at his vision, he has not gone in for a scout, which is pretty surprising. We're already about to be 4.5 minutes into the game, and he has not sent an Overlord in, so he has not seen this opening.
Yeah, which is one off meta, but Cure, he's going for reacted Hellions in addition to the 2-on-1.
All right, and we see why. There we go. Armory's on the way.
That armory coming up.
Yep.
All right, this is not going to be your traditional 2-on-1. This is not going to be a lot of Marines dropped in the map trying to clear creep. This is all-out aggression coming out from Cure.
Yeah, and DRG, what does he have going for him? So he has double Evo chambers. He's working on his upgrades. He does not have a Baneling Nest. He's been quite greedy, just droning on up, working on his upgrades, and the push, it's here, it's coming. It
really is. And Cure even just sending out the Hellions.
Oh my god.
Making it seem like a normal opening. He's keeping those Marines well off the side of creep.
Yeah.
The Baneling Nest only now going down.
Exactly. I think DRG may have been too greedy. We'll see. I mean, he does have 5 queens with this. He's, you know, pumping out as many lings as he can. 10 more lings on the way. We'll see how this does here. But again, there's going to be no Baneling, so it's going to be so difficult for the lings to get on top of this bio.
How surprised do you think DRG was when he saw those Marines stem?
Oh god, we'll see. I mean, again, you can do a lot with queens. Like, they can deal some decent damage.
But this is a lot of stutter stepping. A surround on this Marine Hellbat army isn't really getting a lot done. The lings are basically taken out, but there is just not enough Marines here to contest against the queens.
Yeah, the queens, they pushed this back, and honestly, because of this, like, DRG, he got away with it. You know, the later lair, the earlier upgrades, the later Baneling Nest, like, he got away with this. So now, like, if he doesn't sustain any damage, like, Cure's in a rougher position.
That's gonna be a big if. Like,
yeah, we'll see. Cure's going back in.
Cure is going back in. There are a couple of defensive Banelings still, and without any... I mean, best case scenario right now is these Hellbats tank those Baneling shots. That's what Cure wants to happen. But you do have to be careful. Hellbats are light units. They can only tank so many Baneling shots.
Exactly. Yeah, like, I do feel like with these defensive Banelings, Cure should be okay. We'll see how good the target firing is. Meanwhile, the Lings, they are able to get a handful of workers, but they should be cleaned up. Cure was able to deny the 4th base, which is quite nice, and... yeah, DRG has to be a little bit careful with the pathing. Oh god, the Banelings, no, they're gonna be caught out.
Or are they?
Oh god.
Actually, the Marines are being caught out here, like, completely wasted.
Wow. Oh my god.
Cure. He's not in a bad position at all, just economically, you know? He's still on about the even economy. Actually, he's ahead thanks to mules, and he's getting his 4th base eventually, but he really wanted to be offensive. He really wanted to be aggressive and to do a lot of damage, be active on the map, and now he's not allowed to do that.
Exactly. Like, this
a different plan.
Yeah, the thing is, the problem is, honestly, this is great. He's been able to delay the 4th base twice now. That's huge, because otherwise, like, he would be in a pretty rough position. Like, something that's happening right now. Ooh, nice Liberator harass as well. We rarely see this, but DRG is going to be incredibly far ahead in terms of upgrades. Like, he's already working on 2-2. 1-1 just started for Cure. Like, his NG bays were delayed so much, but that's why it's so important that he's actually dealing this economic damage, like delaying the 4th base, all this lost mining time. It's taking so long to deal with this Liberator. It's still here.
18 drones in that geyser. Should be 15 in the middle line there.
My god, it's finally going to be taken out, but again, like, this is so good for Cure. Like, he needs to do this to kind of like slow down DRG, and we'll see. DRG is going for the push. There is a 4th base on the way. There's not too much here defensively because Cure, he's pushing out once again.
Yeah, that he is, and honestly,
lift up.
DRG, that is not a lift coming up. But DRG did, or not DRG, sorry, Cure did leave a couple of Marines to reinforce here. His mines should be able to clear that off. Oh, they don't have drilling plots just yet. Never mind.
Yeah, they're just not in position to deal with it. Meanwhile, there was a Widowmine drop. 9 drones went down here in the natural. Again, drilling core is not quite done, so they will be able to be dealt with.
Yeah, Cure now turning around, trying to deal with this, but now he has the opportunity to really go for his push. DRG may have the better upgrades, but Cure has twice the army supply just about.
Oh yeah, that he does. Cure looking to push hard here. Meanwhile, DRG, like I feel like, where are the okay, I was wondering where all the banelings were. They're in the natural. We have nothing but lings out here on the map, which is quite scary. Like, you don't want to lose these lings for nothing. But DRG, he does have a little bit of room to breathe. You know, he's finally getting his expansion up and running. 2-2 is done though. No infestation pit for 3-3 quite yet, as he is going into that Lingbane Muta.
Yeah, he has lost a lot of drones so far this game, so I guess he does want to find some sense of stability. He wants to focus more on his defense before teching up later on. And Cure, he's really pushing DRG, maybe not to the limit here, but just being very annoying with these mine drops. This is something that DRG does have to focus on. Otherwise, he's going to lose his drones all over again.
Yeah, definitely. And honestly, like, there was this period of time where, oh my god, decent damage from those Widow Mines. But there was this period of time where DRG, he's been ahead in upgrades, but he hasn't really been able to utilize it. Like, there hasn't really been this like big engagement. So slowly and surely, Cure, he's catching up. 2-2s on the way. DRG just hasn't been able to utilize that advantage whatsoever. And Cure, he's just continuing to go for these drops again, just keeping DRG at home.
Yeah, you don't normally see mine drops too often in TVZ, do you? But Cure proving that it's viable.
Yeah, I mean, he did it against Solar, and he pulled Solar apart with it, and now he's doing it against DRG. To be fair, when it comes to DRG...
No, but he's aware. Good split.
Yeah, and DRG, like, he's handling this defense so much better than Solar. Solar, by now, he would have lost 2 mineral lines. But DRG, he's only lost a handful of workers here and there. So far, it's been quite solid, being able to keep up in some way, but it looks like Cure may be looking to finally push out with his main army.
Yeah, he is so close to maxing out right now. His 2-2 is just about going to be finishing up. Infestation Pit still a little bit of ways off of DRG. So if there was ever a time for Cure to push out, it would be now. They're going to be even on the upgrades, but DRG or Cure is going to have the much bigger, much better army. The friendly fire on those mines, though.
Oh yeah, all the banelings went down, and it looks like there may just be enough here for DRG to finally clean this up. A bit of an anti-timing. 2-2 is about to finish up in 10 seconds. Like, if he waited a little bit longer.
Yeah, well, DRG did kind of force that there, didn't he? Cure is posturing around trying to set up those his attack. DRG, he saw an opportunity, he went for it.
Yeah, as we do see all the upgrades finished. Meanwhile, there were some nice Widowmine shots here in the natural. 7 drones went down. And DRG, okay, here we go. So he's now equal in upgrades, at least when it comes to the ground army. But I feel like a lot of his beef it's gone. Like, his army isn't... I mean, he may have enough. There are no banelings.
Yeah, yes, just enough. I mean, Cure, he's trying his best to borrow a number of these Widowmines, but they do get taken out.
Yeah.
But a lot of his team has been taken out of DRG sales. GG is called, and Cure takes game number 1.
Exactly. DRG, he was just ground down. We saw, I'm not too sure where the banelings were. They trickled in after the main fight happened. He just had Ling Muta, and Cure takes the game.
That could sometimes work, but
yeah, he takes game number 1. What a start to the series.
What a fantastic start to our series. Constant action. Well, there was a little bit of a slow point to that game, but still, stuff was happening. Wheels were turning in terms of builds going on, and what a fiery end.
I just really enjoy what Cure did that game, like his drops, like his constant aggression, just not really allowing DRG to ever push out. I don't think he ever did, right, with his Lingbane Muta. I don't think he was ever really...
He tried to go for these counterattacks here and there, but that was after DRG was, or rather after Cure was already up in his face. And
yeah,
I'm gonna bring something up as we go into the next game, Light. Is it really? Because I'm kind of mixing up these two players here and there, and I can kind of see why, but there's another point to that.
Is it because of DPG? Is that why?
It's
because
both players.
Yeah.
Both players have their clan tags in their IDs.
Oh my god, who's the owner of DPG?
That's a clan tag as well.
Does DPG have an in-game clan tag? I don't think they do.
Actually, now I think about it, I don't think it is. Yeah, that's in Hungary.
Yeah. So like, Cure has an excuse. Okay, he has an excuse. It's fine.
It's accurate. I just wish that it wasn't these two specific players. Well, that's a lie. I love seeing what they can pull off. And speaking of what they can pull off, we're now on Ice and Chrome LE. Where is the Chrome? It is wherever the Dare Ice Coffee is at. In the bottom left-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, the blue Terran player already roughing up his opponent. He is in a very familiar face, looking to get another ESL Open Cup Asia Championship. Let's see if he can do it. He's representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, DPG. We have Cure.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ice and Chrome LE, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing Afrika Freaks. It is DongRaeGu.
So clan tags.
So clan tags, mates. DRG, what are you doing? God damn it. I mean...
Mr. Kevin, please.
Get on it. To be fair, like, you know, thankfully we have aliases available to us in casting tools, so like the intros are fine. But yeah,
it can be a little tricky when you're reading out in game like that. You just gotta get used to dirty, cure.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than, like, you know, barcodes or
it is.
Or just completely different names. Mate, there are so many players who just have random names in game. And they don't have like the team clan tag or anything at all. It's like, oh god. But Always was one of them. But Always, I Googled. Yeah, and I Google translated it, and it was a name, and it was like, it was not But Always, and it wasn't his IRL name either. Just saying.
Well.
I know, because I had to send ESL the replay pack. So when I made the replays, like I got the name like in text form, and I was like, "What is this?" It's like it's something else completely. It's like, god damn it.
Yeah, it's like this guy. His name is Jonathan Rothenstone or whatever in game, and then you're like, "Who is that?" And it's like, "Oh, actually, that's stats." Like, where did that come from?
Right? God damn it. Also, shout out to Dastan in the chat. Buenos dias, Dastan.
Buenos. Funara.
Funara, Dastan. For those wondering, as of course we are at a more Asian time zone, Dastan, he is a pro player. He's a Protoss player from the land of Chile, from Latin America. And yeah, he's great. He has his own podcast called El Prisma, which is the top 3 Latin American Protoss players talking together, of course, in the most unbiased conversation. 3 Protoss players. What could go wrong?
What is it? Oh no, actually, just 3 Protoss players.
Yep. It's Dastan, Darkness, and Paco Mike. You know, the trifecta of Protoss in Latin America. So yeah,
I will say one thing about Dastan. He is a very fine connoisseur of Spanish and math.
I know about that one. Oh god, but yeah, here on this channel we do cast a lot of Latin American StarCraft, so we have a fair amount of Spanish speakers. It's really cool. The Latin American community has been very receptive. It's definitely cool to see. And appreciate it.
And that was a really good way to fill in time, as now Kira's doing something noteworthy. That's a raven.
That's a raven! Mate. So we all, like, speaking about the scenes, we all know Akira, he's a big CUT fan, right? He watches him like like religiously.
He is a hut for hut, as you will.
Exactly. That censored version of that hashtag. So yeah, he's gonna be pushing out with this Raven. We didn't really get to talk about it, but it was a 1-1-1 opening, and this Raven, it's not something that you see too often. We'll see if it's just here to support the main army or head into a mineral line.
Exactly. That's the two ways that you can utilize Raven in a TVZ. Either go for the turrets, not as effective as in a TVT or in a TVP, as you know, drones aren't mechanical units, or more commonly, use them as a detector. Don't waste your scans.
Yeah. Gonna be able to clear some creep, able to kill an overlord in the middle of the map as well with that auto turret. So really nicely done there by Cure. And yeah, he's just gonna shark around and kill more creep. To be fair, DRG, he has a decent amount of queens and lings, so he should be able to, like, it's not like this should really dive into any mineral line and deal any, you know, massive economic damage, but like delaying the creep like this, it's great.
Oh yeah, we really saw in the previous couple of series, haven't we, how essential creep can be in a ZvT, or I guess in general, but especially when you're up against a player like Cure. And with this super maneuverable army, that's something I didn't really consider until I'm seeing it now. The super maneuverable army of Hellions, these Lings are going to be stopping that though.
That they are. They get a decent surround. A lot of Hellions were cleaned up, and so many in the red. So Kiori's gonna have to go back home, unless he wants to stick around, which is
done, though.
Yeah. This is risky to say the least. I mean, he's gonna try and get as much value as he can, right? Meanwhile, behind this DRG, he's actually. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, DRG, he's building up his forces behind this. He's finished getting stim. He's working on his 1-1 combat shields. There's the armory coming along. And Cure, he is going to be keeping those Hellions alive as best as he can, because the push is coming.
Yeah, it definitely is. And DRG, he's playing very similar to how he did in the previous game. Like, he's got double upgrades on the way, he's got Spire on the way. This time he didn't neglect his Baneling Nest as he did previously, so that's already done. Baneling Speed is going to be on the way as well, so a little bit less greedy. He's you know, respecting his opponent a little bit more after that loss in game number 1. But again, like, I just love how the creep spread has been delayed or denied for so long that it's going to be a little bit easier for Cure to push out here.
And he ain't done with clearing creep. He doesn't want to push out just yet, just going to be waiting on these upgrades and guessing another round of tanks. But yeah, he just wants to go out with this push and continue to keep this creep down, continue to make sure that when his push hits, it's really going to hit.
Yeah, definitely. Again, we do see all the Hellions repairing at home. Same with the tanks, and the Marines are pushing on in, able to kill an Overlord. Ooh. Nice snipe.
Pretty good bailing shot there.
Yeah.
But a hot pickup is going to be enough.
That it is. Again, these Marines are just out here to, you know, keep DRG honest, you know, keep him on his toes, able to clear up some creep here and there with some of these scans. And, oh, there we go. The Mutalisks do get spotted.
Yeah, and this is going to be making it a lot harder for Cure to continue to do these drops. So his push, I'm waiting for it. Cure, you've been building up that army, you've been amassing it, your 1-1 is done. Are you going to push out, or are you going to be waiting for your 2-2?
Yeah, we'll see, as 2-2 is on the way. Currently, we are equal in upgrades because 1-1 did also just finish for DRG. And yeah, here we go. It looks like he's finally massing up with his army. Armory is done, so there we go. The Hellbats are morphing in.
And this is going to be a pretty deadly push. Now, the question is he going to go north or south? The south, it has a very good tank position, as I found out from time, but on the flip side, I feel like DRG is also going to be a lot more prepared for that. Good splits. The tanks are going to be taken out, though, but it doesn't matter. The Banelings have been dealt with. A couple more are being made right now, but where's the buffer for those Banelings?
It's in production. 38 Lings are on the way. We'll see if they're able to come out just in time for this push, as, again, Curie's kind of busy clearing out this creep, buying a little bit of time, DRG is, for these Lings, for these Banelings.
These turrets, man, actually producing a bit more DPS there and potentially drawing some attention away from these Banelings. Really good idea to utilize them in split like that. And speaking of splits, this is a fantastic split coming out from Cure.
Wow.
Got all of the Banelings being taken out like nothing. And this is not enough realists to really threaten the remaining Marines.
So we'll see how good the splits are. There are a couple of Banelings left, but the reinforcements, they continue to trickle in, and it looks like Cure may be able to break this. A couple more Banelings do morph in, though.
For DRG, this is going to have to be his final. He's going to have to make those Banelings count, and he does not, unfortunately. More and more reinforcements are being trickled in, and every time it looks like DRG is just going to barely hold off, Cure is able to get a couple more reinforcements in. This should be enough, though.
Yeah, he gets a nice round. He's able to deal with the tank, and DRG, he holds. And for the most part, like, his economy is intact. He did lose like a handful of drones, but he has to be careful here. He lost a decent amount of Lings, and Cure, he's not stopping. He keeps going.
He's not. He has just been trading so efficiently so far, and that gives him the momentum to continue doing this. Like, sure, he didn't manage to take out the base yet, but he has the ability to keep trying.
Yeah, but we do have to bear in mind that, like, at some point, Cure may start running out of steam. Like, if DRG is able to completely shut this down, like, he's bought enough time where, again, he has a decent bailing count, decent amount of Lings, more mutas, like, 2-2 just finished as well.
Yeah, for Cure it did, and, you know, DRG poking around trying to see what he can accomplish. I think Cure's push is not quite as threatening as it was previously.
Yeah.
But he's just repositioning. He knows that DRG is going to be focused on this area, has to watch a rally. Or does he?
Ooh, I mean, we'll see. Like, Cure, he's just continuing to reinforce. He wants to keep applying that pressure. And, actually, I'm surprised as we do have +1 armor on the way for DRG. He finished melee, but it looks like he didn't start both at the same time. So, yeah, he's actually down an upgrade at the moment. Actually going for the reinforcements.
Yeah, really good use of splitting off your Zergling army like that. They're not really going to accomplish too much when, you know, you have overcrowding of Lings, so may as well find a different use for them.
Oh, God, and we'll see how this...
Right now for Cure.
Yeah.
Oh, but there's Marines, like, they're so clumped up. The Lings are coming in for a bit of a flank here. Decent splits, but losing just way too many Marines there. You know, the Battles have been taken out, and the Ling count has been shaved off, but there's just way too many Mutalisks for that amount of Marines to really contest with, especially without medevac support.
Everything was taken out, including the medevacs. DRG completely shut that down, and again, that goes down to the fact that Cure ran out of steam. Like, as the game progressed, like, it was looking better and better for DRG because, like, he had a little bit more time to breathe, and Cure's push was kind of just running out of steam over time. And now we've gotten to the point where Cure, he needs to be like the one on the defensive now.
Yeah, I think he has I think he does have to take a step back right now and realize these pushes haven't really accomplished much so far, and now DRG is in a much better defensive position. What can I do instead?
Yeah, we'll see.
And honestly, like, with these Mutalisks out, I feel like harass is going to be a lot harder as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, there's a mass amount of Mutalisks out on the map. The creep spread is pretty good as well, you know, covering some of the bases. Decent Overlord spread. We'll see what Cure can get done here. 3-3, it's about to finish up, so he does have that upgrade. He will be having that upgrade advantage, and he's working on Thors, but oh god, there's no repairs.
Yeah, doing a lot. No repairs coming out right there. But Cure does build a bunch more turrets. Hit a line, you don't see that every day.
Yeah, you don't typically see that, but, you know, even though all the missile turrets did get taken out, he does immediately replace them. We'll see if DRG dives in again with these Mutalisks. Again, he himself hasn't really been across the map with them. He hasn't really dealt much SCV damage. There was a drop trying to catch his opponent off guard. But DRG is there.
Boom, I'm over here. You're trying to drop me somewhere else? No, I'm here as well. That is how good DRG's creep spread and has been so far this game, and just how I guess it does also just go to show you how quickly Mutalisks can go from one end of the map to the other. A lot more charts out here this time. In fact, Cure actually trying to go for a fifth one there, but did get denied.
Yeah, and here we go. At the same time, Cure, he is pushing on in. This time he does have a decent amount of Widowmines and Thors as well.
Ooh, a little bit of mistiming there with that Widowmine, actually connecting with not a lot. And Cure, he is maxed out, but is he maxed out in the army he needs to have? I mean, DRG, he's got a lot of Lingbane Muta, and he's going into Ultras. And this planning going to be finishing up pretty soon, and this isn't exactly the anti-Ultralisk army, but he's starting to make Marauders now.
Yeah, and to be fair, like, it was really nicely done. Cure, he did leave half of his army at home for defense, you know, to stop any kind of massive Ling run by, which is exactly what DRG tried to do. So Cure is trying to do what he can with the army that he has out on the map. He can trade pretty efficiently with this, but we'll see how he does here if he's able to take out one of these hatcheries.
Yeah, this is a textbook Bioterran strategy, isn't it? Keep some of your army back at home, take some of your army, and just try to be where your opponent isn't.
Exactly, but the Ling Bane, they just crash on in, and even though this may not be the most efficient trade, like, he will clean this up, but here come the reinforcements from Cure.
Not a lot of splitting here, though, but finally, thankfully, at the last second, there were a couple of Marauders to soak up some damage. Really good kiting as well.
Yeah, and immediately, as soon as that happens, DRG, he evacuates the base, he evacuates all the drones, so only the hatchery goes down. He gives it up, but at the same time, he does expand over to the north instead.
Yeah, not really much of a sacrifice there, is it?
Yeah, it's not ideal, but you know, DRG, he did just finish up that hatchery, so you can just rotate the workers around. Meanwhile, there it is. I was waiting for it. The Ghost Academy is on the way for Cure, so he will eventually have Ghosts out for the Ultralisk. I don't believe... there we go. We only have two Ultras out for DRG.
Yeah, snipes are absolutely... easily the best spell that you want against Ultralisk. I do find Marauders a bit more reliable, but you cannot argue with just the sheer amount of damage a snipe can give you.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, snipes in the hands of a good player. A player like Cure can do so much better targeting those Ultras. But again, DRG, he's not really committing too much to them. He only has 2. He's continuing to make more Ling Bane instead.
Yeah, but I guess the question is, does that really affect Cure's army too much? I mean, he's continuing to make Marauders, which that's not a bad thing to make in this position, even without the Ultralisks.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be careful, definitely, with your ratio of Marine and Marauder, right? If you make too many Marauders to hard counter the Ultras, and just Lings just wreck you. So yeah, you have to be careful about that. And
Thor's exposed.
Oh, Thor is exposed, but so are these Ultras as all the Banelings get taken out.
Yeah, an absolutely beautiful mine shot. Cure, is he gonna ride this wave? Yeah, it's being very cautious right now, but you can't fault him. This is a late game TVZ. They will be throwing it all away in one fell swoop.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, we have some small bangs from either player, but you don't want to be trading too inefficiently there. We do have this Ling run by trying to go on, and the main armies are in the middle of the map.
Yeah, just poking at each other. This is the main army from DRG, actually, but not the main army for Cure. This is a fraction of it. But the rest of his army just not quite in position to deal with this. Good snipes. They have the reinforcements coming in. DRG, once again, backing away.
Yeah, we've reached a point where, like, Cure defensively has been pretty solid. Like, there was a Ling run by, it got cleaned up. Like, again, he keeps the majority of his army at home. So because of that, like, slowly but surely, like, he's just been getting, like, he's been refining his army, I should say, over time.
Absolutely. I think that DRG, right now, he's in a position where he can afford to trade inefficiently, right? And continue remax. He's pretty ahead in terms of the economy, but that is also has its limits.
Oh God.
You know, he can't continue to trade inefficiently throughout the entire game, especially if he trades too inefficiently. Maybe not so much like that, but that was an example of trading inefficiently.
Yeah, he did spend a lot to kill that planetary. We'll see if DRG gets punished for that, as, oh my God, he's just continuing to make more Ling Bane. We've got one Ultra on the way, but...
And you can't blame him right now, right? The Ultralisks, they're expensive. They are not necessarily the most efficient unit to have right now, considering how many ghosts Cure has.
Yeah, definitely.
But nukes are coming down. That is what I like to see.
It does get spotted, so the drones will be able to escape. So the nuke shouldn't get too much done.
How many drones are able to escape? All the drones are able to escape. Couple of those drones moving right outside radius of the nuke. These are not Marines that you're looking for. There's a change. They're just chilling.
I saw the blue blob and I'm like, is there a drop? I'm like, nope.
Nope. Yeah, just changelings could actually fire, but they couldn't fire real bullets. It would be like Halukes, is what I'm saying. So you think you're fighting with all your army, but you're actually not. And yeah, I mean, it's funny to say that, because there's a lot of action going on right now, but not a lot of results from that action, so the game has actually slowed down a bit. Oh God, the planetary is going to be going down. There are so many Banelings here, and it does. but not after that many banelings have been taken out from DRG though.
Yeah, I'm just really surprised that that Cure he went back home, or he went across the map with his army. It looks like he will be able to get some nice snipes, able to take out a couple of ultras. But I feel like Cure, I don't know, I feel like he needs to be a little bit more aggressive, like or go for some counterattacks, like especially after that, right? Like so many banelings went down for DRG. He just has lings right now. He's trying to morph in what he can. So there are these moments where he's a little bit vulnerable, but yeah, Cure, he's playing this out a little bit slower instead.
Yeah, he's definitely following the textbook approach. You know, he wants to just keep his Zerg opponent on as little of an economy as possible, try to force that all into a position where Cure will just have a fantastic defensive setup. But there are these opportunities. To be fair, we are also on Ice and Chrome. It's a larger map. The counterattacks can take a while. But yeah, there's the opportunity for him to take, but he just hasn't.
Yeah, and at the same time, both sides do get hit. It looks like the south side, Cure is able to defend, but here to the north, it looks like this base is going to be going down. 20 more SCVs go down as well, and the Ultra is not going to do too much, but the damage was done, and Cure, slowly but surely, his defense, like, it's being penetrated.
It's get broken, exactly. Now, I would normally say this, like, this is a late game TVZ. Right, you want the Terran player wants to keep their SCV count as low as possible, but once again, you got to look at the banks, and Cure just does not have that bank.
He does not, and this time his army is here, but oh my god, just bio units, no Widow Mines whatsoever. Everything is going to go down.
Yeah, it absolutely is a massive surround with these lings, and finally, I think this game is going to be coming to a conclusion. None of these snipes have anything to do about it, though.
Yeah, another base is going to be going down. It should burn, and I mean, this is going to be eventually cleaned up, but the CC falls, the Mutalisks, they're going to be going into another base. There's no missile turrets here either.
Yeah, this Planetary Fortress is doing quite a bit, considering, you know, the repairs are helping out a lot. Don't think the ground army will be able to take it out just yet, but that's what the Mutalisks are for. Exactly,
everything. The planetary goes down. It looks like the Mutas are going to be cleaned up, but there are ultras here, there's lings, and yeah, Cure.
Returned. Cure is now forced to all in, essentially. He's
yeah.
not an army, but his economy is in shambles.
I mean, I hope he does, right? Like, if you want to turtle up from here, like you've taken so much damage. Like, what do you exactly? You can't.
And this is another wave coming down. I'm hesitant to call it the final wave because Cure, he is absolutely resilient. And he's still alive.
Yeah, that he is. Again, he's going to be able to trade, but DRG, he's the one who has that bank. He's got lings hitting the natural as well. To be fair, I will say that DRG doesn't have a lot of gas. He's actually running out of gas.
He can make nothing but lings right now, which honestly is just about all he needs, but if Cure is just careful of his choke points, you know, if he's able to just take out all these lings before they can kill out his bio, I don't see DRG being able to make enough of anything to defend. But that's definitely a big ask for Cure.
Yeah.
We are Ice and Chrome. There's not that many choke points to utilize.
Exactly, and the problem is that Cure's army is so small that he's struggling to be at multiple places at once. Again, DRG, he finds an opening, a way into the main base on top of the production. Meanwhile, Cure, he's trying to keep up. He's trying to keep up with the Mutas, and I mean, he finally gets over here, but the Lings are on top of the production. Like, they're on everything.
That's about everything. And Cure is going to be able to clear this out, but yeah, I mean, Lings, when you're in this sort of scenario, not quite a split map. GG's called. I was gonna say, yeah, DRG can afford to be everywhere at once, but Cure could not. So DRG gonna be tying up that series sideways 1-1. We have at least 2 more to go, and at most 4.
GG, and honestly, like, this was a strange game to me looking at it. Like,
was.
Compared to how Cure played out against Solar, like, Cure was so aggressive in his games against Solar, right? Like, he was constantly pushing out. And to be fair, that's how he started off against DRG, except, like, that massive rally, that massive aggression was eventually stopped, and then it never started again, right? Like, he was just, like, kind of turtling up as a bio player, and it's hard to pull that off. It was, it was almost like death by a thousand cuts. Like slowly but surely, he was kind of ground away at. Like banelings kept running in to the north, to the south, killing planetaries over and over again, and yeah, Kira just kind of died.
Which is a funny thing to say about a TVZ, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Normally, you want the Terran player to be doing that, the death by thousand cuts, but yeah, this time it was DRG.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta be honest with you, like watching that game, kind of, it looked like two people punching each other in the face until finally one of them keeled over.
To me, it just looked like DRG punching Kira in the face. I'll be honest, like Kira, it felt
Kira just being like, "Yeah, I can take it."
Exactly. Yeah, it felt like,
"Oh, I can't take it."
Exactly. That's exactly kind of what it felt towards the end, especially. I should say.
Yeah. To start with Kira just doing a lot of maneuvers. You know, what's that term's called? You know, sidestepping DRG a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Really catching him off guard, and suddenly just kept getting hit. And so, like, yeah, go ahead, hit me. But let's see what we have on our next. What we have up next. This is a player who is very versatile, so I do expect something a little bit different. We are on Pillars of Gold. LE holding up the Golden Wall, protecting the Eternal Empire, of which the LE submarines are hidden. Where in the top right-hand corner map, fighting all the way in the top right-hand corner map, the blue Terran player coming out from the land of South Korea. He is going to be representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, DPG. We have Kyo.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Pillars of Gold, LE, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing Afrika Freaks. It is DongRaeGu.
And DRG, he saw that series against Solar, didn't he?
He must have.
Drone out on the map.
Yeah, he was checking to make sure there was no proxy. Again, we also saw the Overlord went over to the left-hand side as well, just to double check. And I mean, there is also a Korean stream, so I wouldn't be surprised if he did tune in, to be honest.
I was actually tuning in here.
So yeah, just double checking, making sure Kira's not doing anything too crazy, especially on Pillars of Gold, right? Like, because we do kind of think that, or, you know, there are advantages to Zerg on this map. You know, maybe a Terran player is more prone to proxy. Yeah, so far, nothing too crazy coming out from Kira.
Yeah, sticking it about as standard as he can be in 2 minutes into a game.
And I don't know if you want to do it later on, but I know Dastan, he did request a Spanish intro from you. I feel like we need some time to set up Google Translate for that one.
No.
You're like, no.
I can do it.
Oh god.
Baby.
Don't do it. It's fine. Say no. It's okay. Oh god. We'll see how we go
just
here.
a bunch of Spanish phrases. It's like Santa Maria, como siempre, de lama,
oh
de
god,
la
stop.
rocha, que cien, to, como está, esis.
You're like, S-Cure! You would say, right,
Someone's actually going to translate that, whatever I said, aren't they?
Vortex is going to be on that. He's going to be on that.
So you can always count on.
We'll say that. We'll save that for one day. You'll cast Sentiment Latino, and then we'll do that together. We'll do that. It'll be great.
Yeah.
One day.
Until then, we're just gonna watch a pretty standard opening coming out from both players. It is gonna be the Hellion Liberator. That's the build that I like to see. It's the build that I mostly use in TBZ.
I was about to say, I'm like, yo, that's your bread and butter.
Yeah, I mean that's less my bread and butter, and that's more of my the only thing available that I do.
More of like
it's my bread and butter if I only ate bread and butter.
It's like your instant noodles, you know, it's like what you have when there's nothing else available.
I mean, there's a lot that's available. I'm just too lazy to learn how to cook it.
There you go. There you
That's
go.
the analogy.
So we'll see what this can get done. Obviously, the Liberator is going to be heading into either the natural or the main base. Going to be sieging up, trying to catch DRG unawares. And oh my god!
Nice couple of drones already being taken out. Good surround on one of those Hellions. But Cure will be able to make it out with most of what he needs to.
And this is something that I've noticed from DRG's play, is that he's incredibly greedy when it comes to scouting. Like, when it comes to vision, he hasn't seen the main at all. I say that, wow, a single Ling is going to be able to get in.
Massive walls everywhere. But there were some guard marines, so they did gun down the Ling before it could get too deep.
I don't know how it got in, but it did.
I mean, it took its chance, right? And it found its opportunity with them, whatchamacallits, massive holes in the walls.
And wow,
I mean, yeah, really good. Well, I guess not really a Sim City, but what's the term I'm thinking of? Like, really good surrounds coming in with the queens, with the Lings. DRG was able to scout just about what he needed to from Cure earlier on. You know, doesn't see anything too tricky, just sees that it is going to be that bio push. So how does he prepare for the timing is going to be the next question.
Yeah, that's the big question. As we do see, DRG is now taking all his gases. He's getting his lair. Going to be, I imagine, throwing down the spire as soon as the lair is done. Again, this is all what we've seen before from DRG, that Ling, Bane, Muta, even going for that double upgrades again. Double Evo, I should say. So, yeah, he's just getting into the swing of things. Meanwhile, Cure, he's one who I'm kind of looking at right now to see what he can get done. He does have 2 medevacs now. You know, he has a decent amount of marines. He'll be taking his 3rd base. Again, just kind of slowly ramping up into things. Like, there's no early armory or anything crazy like that. There's no like strong hellbound push. Instead, it's going for that drop.
Yeah, going for, or starting off with the drop. You know, gonna have to be careful to keep most of his marines alive, and yeah, building up that tank count slowly but surely. And I do think that when you're looking at the builds of both these players, these are very standard builds, aren't they? These are builds that give you the tools to do just about anything, but you do have to decide what you're going to use them for and utilize them well enough. Ooh,
yeah.
Nice snipe. Take out the banelings one by one, takes out another. Can he get the last one? Will be forced to pick up, and does lose a couple of marines, but keeps most of them alive.
Yeah, honestly, that was pretty sick to see. He was able to stutter step and snipe the majority of the banelings except for the last one. The last one did connect on, I believe it was just a single marine. But yeah, really nicely done regardless.
Yeah, normally I can only do one or the other, and honestly, I can't do any of them particularly well. So Cure doing both of them really well. I am always impressed.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and to be fair, DRG, like, he also had really sick transfuses, keeping the queens alive. He had just enough to hold on to his 4th base, and yeah, we'll see what this does. Again, Cure, like, he's not necessarily looking to deal too much damage, but kind of set things up, you know, like killing a queen here or there, sniping banelings, sniping creep for the follow-up push.
It's up, and that's a pretty dang good baneling snipes. A couple more marines went down, but the reinforcements definitely make up for that. But I'm starting to get very worried here, like, you know, DRG, he's about even, okay, not anymore. I was gonna say he's about even in the army supply, but well ahead of worker supply. But Cure, he's really proving how good micro can make a difference in these scenarios.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like DRG is getting ready for a surround. The Lings are going to be coming in from behind. Meanwhile, the banelings from the front. We'll see how good the splits are for Cure.
Well, I'm loving how he's positioned all of this, including the tank here, and just having a handful of the marines poking at that hatchery. Most of the marines have been kept back to deal with the flanking Lings, but unfortunately, a bit of a miscalculation there, a bit of a misposition from Cure. And DRG had just enough that he needed to take out that foothold.
Yeah, wow, really nicely done. I love the way he was able to surround that army and everything went down. Of course, except for the medevacs, he was able to keep them all alive. And yeah, again, not too much damage done. Like, it was just kind of trading army for army. I'm sure Cure, he would have loved to have gotten into that natural, able to deal some damage there, maybe pick off a couple of workers, but solid defense so far by DRG.
Yeah, really well done, and I have a feeling we're gonna see a repeat of that previous game line. I have a feeling that Cure, he's gonna continue to go for these pushes, at least for the time being. DRG is gonna continue to deflect them, and each time just chip away more and more at Cure.
Yeah, I honestly I feel the same, right? Like, especially from that defense, like DRG is already getting up to 80 workers. That's where he wants to be. Now he can start focusing on the army. He's already got 1-1, 2-2s on the way as well. To be fair, DRG, he will be ahead slightly in those upgrades, and I do like this. He's transitioning a little bit faster into those banelings. I mean, sorry, into those wind mines.
Yeah, those drilling claws. Yeah, I'm telling you, in DPG and the DRG, it's messing stuff up.
It is.
Yeah, but yeah, Cure does know what went wrong for him in the previous game, I think. As he is making up for that now. 2-2 just about gonna be finished off here, and once again, is he gonna just turtle up here?
We'll see. I mean, he does have a sensor tower in a decent position just to make sure like no run bys or the mutas don't slip on by. His fourth base is a little bit exposed, but I'm sure he's going to throw down another sensor tower at some point for those mutalist defense. And yeah, like DRG, he's not really able to do too much, but like behind this, you know, we've got an infestation pit on the way. He's going to be working on his hive, working on 3-3 as soon as he can. Yeah, I'm curious to see if he just continues to go into like ultras like he did last game, or if he's gonna like switch things up a little bit. He probably won't, but yeah, I'm optimistic.
Don't kick it, you know.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say Greater Spire, just cause. Normally, if it was gonna be Greater Spire, you'd already see the lower Spire by now, or the lesser Spire by now. But
you do.
You know. Wait.
Because of the mutas, but yeah.
Right. Dude, mutas are so ubiquitous in its word composition nowadays. I completely forgot you need a text structure
it's
for
all
it.
Good. It's all good.
You're telling me it's not hatch tech? It's so ubiquitous.
You're like, nowadays. What? Does Zerg have to make a building for it? Really? It doesn't feel that way.
I always see it every game then.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
exactly. Alright, pretty good splits and pretty good Widowmine connections. But there's still a pretty healthy amount of mutas and pretty healthy amount of banelings, even if this army of Cure is able to deal with the lings.
Yeah, and we do see that Venn diagram of sensor towers making sure that Cure is aware of whatever run bys there are, and DRG was trying to go for one but decides to back off instead. And we've gotten to the point where DRG, he's maxed out, he's looking to try and trade that army. He does now finally have Hive, as it did just finish up, going to be working on those upgrades. There it is, Ultralisk Cavern on the way. Again, as you said, just if it ain't broke, right? Like just keep going for it.
Yeah, continue to go for it, but Cure, he's also well aware of that. He's been absolutely on top of his transitions, I feel. Cure has, almost anticipating what DRG was going to do behind that. That was a pretty good trade for our blue Terran player. But again, he's reluctant to follow up that momentum.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, to be fair, if he did, there were plenty of banelings morphing in just in time, as, you know, whenever DRG, he goes in, like, we do see him morph in banelings before the fight, so he does have them afterwards for the counterattack. And yeah, we do have, again, Cure pushing on forward. Oh god, there's a splits! Oh.
Yeah, well, there are here, and that's a fantastic baneling shot, or Widowmine shot, I should say. A lot of banelings connecting to Marauders, but splash damage seems like it's going to be enough there to take out a decent chunk of the army. Cure is still favored, and he is going to be riding this momentum. How long can that last is going to be the second question, but he is going to try to force something.
Yeah, he's definitely will, and I mean, DRG, once again, because of his booming economy, he's maxed out once again with that economy. We have ultras on the way, 3-3 kindness plating,
and another run by. Yeah, reinforcing so. And yeah, Cure, we're gonna be reinforcing. I do feel like, compared to the previous game, he is starting to slowly inch his way forward this time. Gonna be investing more into Liberators as well, which I really like in TBZ. He can use them for harass, or he can use them to defend against the Ultralisks.
Yeah,
but they have a lot of utility to them.
They definitely do, and we do see DRG again. Oh, he's actually committing to this. Again, trading exactly efficiently with his banelings, but he has the money to do it. Immediately remakes more blings, more banelings, ultras are here. He's able to just trade as inefficiently as he wants because he has the economy to sustain that.
Exactly, but how long can it last, though?
That's the question.
Mine shots, and I feel like it really depends. I honestly really think it is on Cure, right? If DRG, his bank right now is relatively low compared to what it could be, so if DRG is forced to continue to remax continuously, then we're gonna get into a couple of problems. But you know, Cure, he is giving DRG a bit of time. Not here though. He is drawing DRG into a very unfavorable position to fight. This Ultra is so low, and that's the main thing to point out. The Zerglings have been just about wiped out. There is no more buffer.
And this could be Cure's opportunity. Like, if he splits.
Fantastic splits coming down from Cure.
And he can just keep going.
Is continuing to push. He knows exactly what position DRG's army is at right now. Forces to cancel on those Banelings. And this is such a good position. He's basically cut DRG's position in half right now.
Exactly, and I mean, DRG is doing what he can. All his Banelings run into the buyer. Now he just has Mutas and Lings. A couple more Banelings morph in it. It looks like he may have just enough.
Fantastic, no. He does have just enough. DRG Cure continuing to push out, continue to try to reinforce, but now look at the supply light. DRG, he lost so many overlords there. He has the money to remax, but he can't afford to. Meanwhile, Cure pumping up that army count. He is ready for round 2.
Exactly. You say he has the money, but honestly, DRG, his bank for the most part, his bank has run out. So we've reached a point where they both have kind of similar incomes. I would have loved to have seen Cure pivot around and try and hit the bases to the right hand side instead, but continue to apply pressure. But instead, he does return to the top left, looking to continue to expand, to continue to take his half of the map, and this is giving DRG some time to breathe. Honestly, it was looking kind of terrifying for DRG. A little bit more, and Cure could have broken him, but Cure does back off.
Yeah, well, I don't really blame him in this situation. Honestly, he knows how precarious his position is. He knows that he doesn't really have an army that has much of an anchor point, right? That he can fall back to. If he moves towards DRG's side, it's do or die. He has to do damage, he has to micro, and he has to focus on it. So he's just hanging back, making sure his macro is in position, and now he's putting all of his attention into this fight. But even still, it might not be enough. Apparently it is, as once again, the Ultralisks and the Banelings get taken out. A Thor is now here to pressure those Mutalisks, and that, I think, was what DRG really had going for him up until this point.
Yeah, exactly. As all this was happening, there was a Baneling run by, so a couple of Ling run by did go down, but at the cost of an entire base. And Cure, he could potentially keep going.
I mean, remember how we said previously where the Terran player wants to lower their SCVs, but Cure wasn't exactly in a position to get rid of them? Now I feel like he is.
Yeah, potentially. I mean,
significant bank, but he has more than DRG, which is just enough.
Yeah, it could definitely be. I mean, DRG is continuing to apply pressure here, diving in with his ultras, with his Mutalisks, forcing Cure back home defensively. So, but at the same time, this is a drop to the south.
It's a drop to the south, and it is drawing actually a lot of army back for DRG. This is starting to get dealt with. Actually, Cure just ignoring this now.
Oh god. Yeah, he is, and it looks like some of the Mutas are going to be caught out here. They are going to be going down defensively. What is there? There are 3 Ultras, which could be enough here. There's only 1 Widowmine, so not too much AoE for Cure.
Yeah, I mean, his micro has been really good up until this point, but how long is he about to run out of steam? This Widowmine's about to rearm light, but it does get taken out thanks to some detection. And yeah, Cure, he looked in a fantastic position earlier on. Looked to have just about twice the army supply, but DRG is caught up. These Mutalisks have not really been dealt with, so these Liberators, they can still be in a massive threat.
Yeah, and he's done it. The main army of Cure has, the main army of Cure has gone down. Now, DRG just goes right into the into the production. Yeah,
Cure trying to trickle in units here and there, but it's gonna be barely enough right now. DRG doesn't quite have the economy to remax instantly, but he is reinforcing slowly but surely. GG is called. DRG now a match point. That was a close game.
Yeah, it was really back and forth, and honestly, I do feel like there were moments for Cure where he could have maybe continued to press on. I'm actually looking at the army value. Like Cure actually had he had like a significant lead there in terms of the supply, like maybe a 50 supply lead. But yeah, in the end, like you know, there wasn't a lot of AoE in the end. The Ultras were able to stand strong and push on forward, and yeah, DRG, he broke him.
DRG. Yeah, maybe not so much grinding him away this time, but instead getting the what's an analogy I can use here, Light? Instead of 1,000 cuts, you get one good cut. Like a T-bone steak. It's a pretty good cut of meat.
That it is, right? We're just setting up here, and you know what? Shout out to Cure, man. He's on top of his game heart.
Shout out to Cure. Exactly. You do always appreciate players who remember to host lobbies with game heart. It's something that can really easily slip one's mind, especially when you're, you know, in the middle of a series like this, right? When you have the adrenaline running and you just want to get into the next game. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we really do appreciate it, those casters. And speaking of appreciating it, here we are on Everdream LE Ideally Edla, a map which I think a lot of people do appreciate now. Just compare it to maps that have gone by from the past and the present, and potentially in the future. People are gonna miss this map. I have a feeling. In the top right-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Terran player coming down from the land of South Korea. He is going to be representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, DPG. He's going to have to win this game and then one after this in order to claim another ESL Open Cup Asia championship. Can he do it? Let's find out. He is Cure.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Everdream LE, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing Afrika Freaks. It is DRG.
Oh,
he's looking for that proxy.
Yeah. It's like, what is the difference between me and Solar, huh? He's offended right now, DRG is. Why wouldn't you proxy me? Why do you only proxy Solar? And why only on Ice and Chrome?
Right?
Why do you proxy me on Ice and Chrome? Like, because, like, sorry. Just, you know, don't feel like it.
Yeah, DRG just making sure he's all good. We do see by all the Overlord pathing, by the drone as well, he was able to make sure he's all good here. Like, there's nothing hidden, there's no proxy out on the map. And yeah, he's able to safely continue on with this game. Doesn't want to be caught out like Solar was.
Yeah. Well, Solar was also only caught out once, wasn't he?
True.
There's the times he did manage to scout nothing, actually. Kind of think about it. Cure went straight up the rest of the time.
Sometimes once is all it takes, you know?
That is very accurate, isn't it?
Yeah, meanwhile, again, you know, pretty slow start. Like, nothing too crazy coming out here. Typical opener so far. Getting that third base. And, I mean, honestly, on a map like Everdream, I wouldn't have been surprised if we saw something a little bit more aggressive from DRG. Like, pretty often, we see some, like, pretty fast, like, roach pushes or things along those lines. Nah, DRG, he's just getting his start.
DRG rolls. He really does strike me as a player who, you know, he doesn't really like being too active in the early game, shall we say. You know, he just wants to establish himself. He wants to establish his tech, his economy in that early game, and then he'll start to be aggressive.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think I've ever seen him really be too aggressive, especially like to be like
in the early game.
Yeah, in the early game.
It's DRG. When you get to the mid game, he has some crazy timings, but yeah, that's just about how he plays. He likes going for timings rather than aggression right off the gate.
And I will say, I don't know if you noticed, it happened during that final push, but DRG, he made that that swarm host. There was a lone swarm host in that army. I don't know if you saw, that was running alongside the ultras.
Be whatever you want to be, Mr. Swarm Host.
It was great.
You don't just have to host a swarm.
Everyone does it. I don't know why everyone does it, but it's a thing. You know, every now and then you just see a random lone swarm host mixed into the main army.
If you don't do it, there has to be something wrong with you.
Exactly. Unfortunately, the swarm host did go down to the Liberators. It did ran into Liberator fire. Oh, the tactical
damage.
Yeah, exactly.
It's damage for the Ultralist.
Yeah.
I may never be able to become one of you, but I do hope that I can help you.
It was all planned. Tactical.
Tactical.
Right.
Tactical strike engaged. But not quite. You know what's kind of striking me about Cure? We talk a lot about his variety, but honestly, he's been opening up pretty much with different flavors of the same build so far in the series. I haven't seen a battle cruiser opening, is all I'm saying.
I'm happy. I'm proud of that. No BCs. Okay, we're good.
I think kind
of
fallen off a little bit considering the Spire meta that has been going on for Zerg, but there's also the fact that, you know, I'm kind of sick of seeing PCs.
Yeah, we did see it quite a bit in Special versus Cham, but that's also because Cham had his own style of playing, ZvT. He
which didn't involve Aspire, did it?
Yeah. So you know, there is a reason for that. And yeah, Cure, like the craziest thing he's really done is we did see like a 2-on-1 earlier, which was pretty nice to see. We didn't get to see that against Solar, but yeah, this game just going for the standard 1-1-1. You know, he's got his Banshee here off in the corner, waiting for his second Banshee compadre to meet up.
Hey, what's teammate though?
I like how we both went for compadre. Yeah, that's what they are.
His essay?
Yeah, his essay, of course. What else would it be?
It could be his dissertation notes, his manuscript, his research paper.
That was awful, by the way, what you just did. That was awful. That was... Ugh. We'll see if anyone caught that. I hope not.
Told me to hand in my essay, but you know, I ain't no snitch.
I would... The wordplay involved if you ever cast it with Fear Dragon, like, Jesus Christ. That would be awful.
No, I want Fear Dragon and Steel.
Regardless, these are things that should never happen.
Yeah.
And
warning you, Fear Dragon. Don't try. But yeah, just about the same formula that we've been seeing that previous game. Cure, he's building that bio push, right? DRG, he's trying to get his 4th base up, you know, really being active to deny as much pressure that Cure is trying to apply.
Yeah, and Cure, he has to make sure that he keeps these Hellions alive, as we do see the armory is on the way, so I'm sure he's going to want to utilize these Hellions at a later point, utilizing that armory, morphing them into Hellbats, so he does have to be a little bit careful, make sure he doesn't get surrounded.
Absolutely. But, you know, Cure, he's, once again, just being so careful with his Hellions right now. He wants to keep them alive, just so his push has that much more oomph to it.
Oh god.
That's a surround, and these Hellions will not turn into Hellbats. That was a little anticlimactic.
Never mind. All the Hellions, they all go down. That's fine, though. That's not going to deter Cure for his strong bio tank push. I mean, it would have been nice to have a couple of Hellbats mixed in there. We have seen that. I mean, I think we saw that in the previous game, right? There were a couple of Hellbats mixed in.
You did try that previously in the Hellbats. They were actually really holding the line. I think the tanks got taken out, but... just because the Hellbats were there, they were able to eliminate a good enough number of Lings that Cure could continue on unhindered.
Yeah. And, oh my god, DRG with his timings. 1-1 just finished up for this push, so he does have his upgrades available to him. We're tied up, both players both on 1-1, and yeah, we'll see what happens here. Oh, the tanks are exposed.
Yeah, tanks are a little bit exposed right now. They're in a very wide open area. Cure forced the siege up a little bit too earlier than he would like, and this is just a completely shut down.
Oh my
Cure
god.
has still got an army. He has not neglected his macro. He's been building up his forces back at home, but they're back at home. They're not over here.
Exactly, they are not. He's forced to pick up what he can, drops in the main base just to deal as much or buy as much time as he can, but everything was taken out. Oh my god, please.
Oh my lord. I mean, the Mutas? Yep, the Mutas are here. And that's be it. I think Cure was really hoping on being able to draw DRG's attention here, you know, keep him back. But yeah, mutas can fly.
They can fly, and we do see the other push, but oh my god, he has to be so careful to make sure those tanks don't get caught out of position again. DRG, he confirms with the Soul Ling that the army is pushing out across the map. He is aware of its position.
And this is a little bit of a precarious scenario right now for Cure. You know, he has to siege his tanks, but he wants them to be in really good, you know, positions that can deny the surface area for the Lings. But DRG is just being so threatening with his Lings that Cure is forced to siege up, whether he likes it or not.
Exactly, yeah, and to be fair, okay, DRG, throughout this entire series, he always goes for these run-bys, but Cure is on point with leaving some army at home. Cure, there, he has to be careful not to get surrounded.
Yeah, almost getting a flank there, but there's another escape path for these Lings.
Yeah,
and now the flank tables have turned. Or have they?
DRG is like repositioning his army, is looking for a way down into those to try and get those tanks, and oh god.
He does catch a lot of reinforcements. Hot pick up on the tank. And splits on the Marines are gonna be enough. Cure unsieging at the exact wrong moment. Just 1 second too late, and these Banelings are getting fantastic connections. There are enough Marines here to be a deterrent for these Mutalisks. But after that trade, I kind of want to give it to DRG, honestly.
We'll see. I mean, he only has 8 Banelings in production right now. Like, he doesn't really have too much to deal with them. Oh god.
But Cure is so far onto creep right now, isn't he? And the tanks are about to be taken out. Cure, he's still got an army with him. He's still continuing forward.
That he does.
These Banelings.
Yeah, there are 4 more Banelings on the way. Just Mutas and Lings right now defensively for DRG, so there could be enough here for Cure to maybe push on forward and maybe take out a hatchery. We'll see if he's able to press his advantages again. DRG, he just needs to buy time for more Banelings.
I want to say that Cure has enough momentum right now just to skyrocket him into the victory, but we've seen DRG defend before, and that was another fantastic connection. These Mutalisks being completely overbearing, but he does have to be so careful. Cure is parade pushing right now. He is continuing to send out these Marines one after the other. And he's keeping enough of them alive. He is about to get a really threatening ball.
The problem is that, honestly, DRG, like, he's done a really good job defending. Like, he's able to defend every single time with the most minimal amount of Banelings. I've been so impressed with how he's been able to do so, even sending out the majority of his Lings to counterattack.
Exactly. He keeps catching Cure just at the moment where he decides, you know, I'm gonna go a little bit into creep right now, try to clear it up. And DRG immediately just pounces on that.
Yeah. And that I was very surprised. That actually pulled the army back for Cure, so he's a little bit out of position and he's on creep.
Ooh, there's some fantastic Baneling connections, but that is just about the last of the Banelings for DRG. Mutalisks cannot quite fight that. I'd say that those are the last of the Banelings, but there are actually some over here looking for a run by. They do knock down that supply depot wall. And there are a couple of Lings here looking to sneak on in. Mindful of that, though.
Yeah, exactly. Cure immediately, he wants to get that wall back up and running. Otherwise, a Ling Flood could come on in when he's pushing out and completely destroy his economy. So he has to be so careful about that happening. Meanwhile, oh my god, DRG, he's back to journeying. Like, he's got 87 workers. He's got how many? 5 bases, 5 hatcheries. And yeah, DRG, he's bought enough time to the point where we've got 3-3 on the way. We've got Hive done, Ultra's Cavern on the way.
Yeah, as opposed to the previous games where DRG did go a little greedy and neglected his upgrades and his tech, this time he is well on his way to perfect timings. And all he's got to do is defend. That is the name of his game.
Exactly. And I think he's already done so. Like, DRG, he had to weather the storm to the point where he could finally get an army that was, you know, comparable to that of Cure, and now he has the freedom to just go across the map with his mutas.
Yeah, does not care one bit about those turrets. He's right on top of the production. There's not enough anti-air here. And it takes a while for the Marines to really position themselves. Oh, Cure. I saw that and I felt that, like, he tried to stop his step, but a couple of Marines got right position. Denied +3 armor. Okay, denied +3 weapons that we absolutely
no, he's gonna do it!
The repairs are coming in! The repairs are coming in right! And at the very least, +3 weapons is gonna stay. And that is what you want to prioritize. That's a Terran player, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. That was so close. He was able to keep one of his upgrades alive, and all these mutas are kind of stuck here in the corner of the map. So this potentially DRG was a little bit too greedy, but he does find a way out.
Yeah, sacrificing a couple of his mutalists there, but they have done their job, and now here comes the massive push out for DRG. But
Again,
he's far off creep, to be fair.
Yeah, he is very far off creep, and he actually doesn't commit with his Lean Bane. He was able to traverse.
Right choice, honestly.
He was able to traverse the center of the map. All those Marines able to get out with the majority of his mutas, but he did lose quite a handful on the way out. But DRG, you know, he's got ultras on the way. He's got his Lean Bane. Oh god.
They are maxed out. These Marines, though, the pathing is a little bit awkward there. They are bunched up into a choke like that. But that is exactly where Cure wants to fight. He is keeping a couple of tanks there just to take advantage of that. And this is starting to get scary. Another run-by coming in, though, for DRG, and this is going to force Cure into the all-in.
Exactly. Like, this time the wall is down, so the Lings are actually going to get some tanks as well. And here we go. Oh, it looks like DRG, again, he doesn't have to really commit if he doesn't want to. Like, he can just buy his time. It's on Cure, really, to push on in.
Exactly, it is. And there's still a chance that Cure decides, you know, I'm not in a terrible position. I can try to rebuild my economy and catch up like that, but enough is enough. Just about every Marine is going to go down at that position, but there's still enough here to be threatening, and most importantly, the tank is still alive to be a bit of an anchor point. But here comes the Remax, the Ultralist, really taking out the Marines, and GG is called. And there we have it. For the first time in his career, DRG is going to be claiming that ESL Open Cup Asia Championship, along with 200 USD and a couple, I believe it's 10 ESL Pro Tour points. Very nicely done.
GG, well played. As you said, DongRaeGu finally takes an ESL Open Cup win, and he went through like some pretty strong players, to be honest. Like, he was able to take out Stats, and here in the finals able to take out Cure, avoiding that ZvT.
Yeah, exactly what he wanted there. So you have to imagine that checks in the mail for Cure.
Exactly, we were theorizing that maybe he would slip Cure something just to make sure, like, or to assist Cure in some way to take out Solar. He did not want that ZvT finals.
No, I don't think it's to assist. I think it's just for appreciation. It's like, thank Christ.
Yeah.
Thank you for being able to do that. But with that, that just about wraps us up. That was, I feel like this is one of our longer ESL Asia broadcasts that we have, and for good reason. You know, Stats, DongRaeGu in the in the semifinals, along with Solar Cure.
Yeah, definitely. It was really cool. It was really nice to see a bunch of these players return. As we were talking about it, because of some of the Chinese events, we haven't seen too much from, like, Stats, for example. So it's really cool to see them once again here in ESL Open Cup Asia. And yeah, GG, well played. Congratulations to the top 4 players, because, as a reminder, top 4 do get paid out here. It isn't winner takes all like it used to be. And yeah, that was just really well done by DongRaeGu. Honestly, I was kind of doubting his ZvT going into this, but especially because of how Cure handled Solar. But yeah, damn.
Here's the thing. I love DRG. He's probably my favorite Zerg player out there right now, along with Sue. But I gotta say, I look at this play and I'm like, yes, this is why I always lose in TBC on ladder. It's because my Zerg opponents are able to defend, and I don't get much damage done.
Yeah, it was a valiant effort by Cure, regardless. Like, he did well, like, especially like
I do care for him.
For sure. And with that,
I'm honestly really happy for DongRaeGu winning his first ESL Open Cup Asia division.
Yeah, for sure. It was really great to see. And with that, that is gonna be the end of our broadcast for today. We had a lot of people tuning in, and honestly, like, I hope you found at least our cast entertaining. Where if you're unfamiliar with us, we are the CranKy Ducklings. We are live 5-6 days a week. We are live consistently with various weeklies. We just finished with DreamHack. We casted almost all the DreamHack qualifiers, as well as we were the B stream as well for ANZ and Taiwan, Hong Kong. So yeah, you may have seen us there on the ESL B stream. But yeah, we've been live pretty consistently. And Yaku, why don't you tell people a little bit more about you?
All right, twitch.tv/Yakuzaku1. I'm just going to be trying to round up a couple of achievements that Twitch requires me to get on that road to affiliate. So I'm going to do a couple of shorter streams this week. Not too long, maybe like an hour and 40 minutes each kind of thing. Twitter.com @EmporiaYakuzaku. That's for you to follow me over on the Twitter. Other than that, !Discord in the chat. You can find the CranKy Ducklings Discord server. I'm there, Light is there, the rest of CranKy is there, as well as the CranKy, do we call them CranKy affiliates or CranKy adjacents? Honorary ducks, if you will.
Honorary ducklings.
Honorary ducklings. Other than that, buy my shirts. Where can we find you, Light?
Light_VIP on Twitch and Twitter. You can find me there on the social medias. And yeah, I'm probably going to be streaming tomorrow or later today, depending on where you are, with some more probably behind the scenes streams. I typically edit VODs, edit videos, as well as work on thumbnails, as I'm trying to catch up on all the DreamHack coverage that we did for our YouTube channel. Speaking of, if you enjoyed our cast, if you want to tune into more of it, yep, !YouTube in the chat. We have everything available there. It's going to take a little bit for us to upload all of our DreamHack coverage, but it will all be there eventually. And yeah, thanks for tuning in again. Like, this is a weekly event that we cover, the ESL Asia Cup. We typically provide more coverage for the Oceanic scene as well as Latin American. That's kind of our forte. That's where we primarily reside. We cover a lot of Latin American weeklies and Oceanic weeklies as well, and run them as well.
But you know where forte resides?
In the military.
Which military?
Is that South Korean?
And that's why we do ESL Asia.
Exactly. So thanks everyone for tuning in. We will be back in 2 days with StarCraft Amantes Gladiadores, I believe, which is Portuguese. That is essentially code A for the Brazilian players who didn't qualify for DreamHack. So that won't involve Kelazur and the Zerglord, as they did make it to the DreamHack main event, but it will include all the others, such as, and not Eric either. Eric did qualify as well. So yeah, that's players like Terran, that's players like Turkey Dano, and Nano as well. So yeah, if you're interested in that, do tune in 2 days. And with that, thanks everyone for tuning in.
Yeah, we do appreciate it.
Ciao.
Bella.